This year's Game Awards is sponsored by Huso Wellenius and Silco Razor and the Assassin's Creed movie and Nintendo and every other big company that wanted to get a piece of that action. Oh boy. But no, in all fairness, this it is the 3rd of the month. Patreon has been sorted out, and Huso Wellenius is our lovely, generous backer, so thank you very much for that. His name will be here. But no, it is not this video. Just to clarify for everybody, it's not sponsored by any company. It's only sponsored by you people that make it all possible. The Patreon backers. Thank you, every one of you. But no, it's not sponsored by any big AAA company like Silco Razor or the Assassin's Creed movie, but the Game Awards sure were, and we can't even call it the Game Awards. We might as well call it Game Advertisement with some awards in it, maybe, because it was a complete and total train wreck. So, the Video Game Awards happened last night, and obviously everybody was up watching it. We were all making snarky comments about all of the different things that were going on, and now that all of the snarky tweets are out of the way, it's time to make a discussion on it, a podcast on it. So obviously we'll just do some of the awards that were shown off in the fucking pre-show, because we didn't have time to show them off in the actual awards. So Pokemon Go got Best Handheld, and considering Fire Emblem was in there, I find that hard to believe. But again, they were giving awards out during the pre-show, like, oh well, these particular awards like Best Handheld, which had Fire Emblem Fates in, which a lot of people really like Fire Emblem Fates, yeah, that's not worthy of a real award. That's not worthy of someone getting up on stage and reading the nominations, and you know, that's a lot of effort. So here you go. What? How many minutes have we got before the actual show? Oh, 15. All right. Well, Niantic, here's your Pokemon Go handheld award. All right, fuck off. Get off stage. We don't need to see you. You're not worthy. Get out of here. We're going to talk about something else now. So that was fun. A lot of people were quite annoyed that at least 5 of the 25 awards were given out during the pre-show, and they weren't even like talked about or hyped up. It's just like they were talking about a specific thing, whether it be the Breath of the Wild trailer, the Assassin's Creed movie, or whatever, and then they'd just stop and say, oh, by the way, Pokemon Go won Best Held handheld, here's the trophy. Alright, you've got your trophy, go away. Okay, back to hyping up all of these games. So that was a good sign of things to come, and as the Game Awards went on, it was evident that this was just a big circle jerk, money wank, let's show off all of the things that everybody knows about, everybody doesn't care about, but we need this. We need it, please. We need it. Please give me money! So, you know, once, sometime, I think it might have been during the pre-show, just to show how ridiculous it is, we had Randy Pitchford, you know, Aliens, Colonial Marines, the lying snake that he is. We had Randy Pitchford come on. I mean, you've got some balls, Randy, to come on after what you did. And he was saying about his new game. And it's like, yeah, you know what, maybe I'll look at it. And then Randy was like, oh, and you got to pre-order it right now because we showed it off at the Game Awards. Pre-order, go pre-order my game. And it's like, Randy, dude, you had Aliens Colonial Marines, which was, well, we all know that story. Then you release Battleborn 1 week before Overwatch. Yeah, we know how that went down. Now you're coming to me with your 3rd attempt, and a lot of people are still bitter about Aliens Colonial Marines and still hate you, but here you are like nothing's happened, telling me to pre-order this. What are you smoking, Randy? You need to stop. Just stop. Okay? Just stop. So that was Randy's little cameo. Not really going to talk about that too much because I don't want to talk about Randy. The then we actually, after Randy came on, there was only about 5 minutes left. Then we got into the actual award show itself. So this is now the big award show. This is the great big grand thing. Oh, okay, pre-show was a little bit shit. Who cares about the pre-show? No one cares about the pre-show. It's time for the awards. So let's start off the awards by showing some guy playing the Doom soundtrack. Okay, I mean, we need an opening act. We need something to get us hyped for the Game Awards. Doom song, pretty good, fair enough, but we'll give it to them. And then it just lost the plot from there. Like, if we split it up, because it was a 2-hour show, it was like 10 minutes of bullshit. That's a phone ringing. I hope you can't hear that. Someone else will answer it. Please pick up the phone. There we go, someone else picked up the phone. Good on you. But yes, so we had the Doom music and it went down from there. If you said it was like a 2-hour show, it was like 15 minutes of bullshit, then a quick 5 minutes for one of the awards. 15 minutes of bullshit, and then a quick 5 minutes for one of the awards. Like, Overwatch won a few awards, but they just said it as a casual mention, you know. They were so busy, and I want to get into all of the things they did, like the guy in the Razor suit, but they were so busy doing all this other stuff. It's like, oh, here's the thing, we're doing all this other stuff. Oh yeah, just by the way, we're not going to show it, we're not going to announce it, but just by the way, Overwatch won Best Multiplayer and Best Esports Game. But enough about the awards. Let's get back to this, because this is not about the awards. So that's kind of like how the entire 2-hour event went on after the pre-show finished. It was like, here's a concert, now I'm going to show 15-20 minutes of bullshit, one award, 15 or 20 minutes of bullshit, one award. And sometimes, if you're being good little boys and girls, during the 15-20 minutes of bullshit, we might casually announce like, oh yeah, by the way, Overwatch won Best Multiplayer and Best Esports. But enough of that, let's get back to all the bullshit. And what was all the bullshit? Well, it was sponsors, of course. And that was like the Silco Razor, as we mentioned. We had some guy in a fucking Razor suit. That was like the most prevalent of the sponsors. So they had this guy in the Razor suit all night, and he kept showing up at random points, winning an 8-bit Mortal Kombat of the Razor Man, and I don't know why he was there. Like, obviously Silco Razor was like, hey, you need to get in the Razor suit, you need to sponsor it, but it's got nothing to do with gaming. You know, even if you said, like, Monster Energy or Mountain Dew or something, it's like, oh, you know, it's stereotypical, but it's like, oh, Mountain Dew, that's Gamer Fuel, that is. That was that horrible crappy promotion. Mountain Dew's Gamer Fuel. Gamer Fuel? Game Awards. There's a connection, but what the fuck does a Silco Razor have to do? I just worked it out. I just worked it out. The Silco Razor, it's because every one of you watching that's a gamer, you're all great big fat neck beards that live in your parents' basement. Why don't you go get a razor, shave that neck beard off? You're a piece of shit with that neck beard. Get a Silco Razor and shave your neck beard. Is that actually the reason? Silco, is that actually, like, I hope that's not the reason, because if I've just worked that out and that is the reason, you've just offended quite a lot of people. Oh dear. But then apparently it might be a character in Street Fighter 5. Oh, okay. So yeah, why the fuck Silco Razor was there, I don't know. Then we got that was a thing. Then they were hyping the Assassin's Creed movie to hell and back. So we got to see quite a few shots of the movie. Like, we got to see Desmond going into the Animus. Like, they had all of the wires and shit on him, and they got the switchblades on his arms. Then the machine pulled him up into the sky, and as he closed his eyes, you had the scientist lady saying 100% synchronization achieved. So we had like 1 million shots of the Assassin's Creed movie. They must have gone back to the Assassin's Creed movie every half an hour. Like, I saw it at least 3 times, and considering it's a 2-hour event, I'm going to say every half an hour. It might have been even more than that, but I can count that I definitely saw them cutting back to the Assassin's Creed booth talking about the Assassin's Creed movie at least 3 times. And the way the woman was speaking was like, they're desperate. It's like, please, you know, Unity and Syndicate was shit, but the movie's good. No, it really is good. It really is. Please, see the movie. Please, we need this. Please go watch the movie. So that was grating. And then we just had, what was the other one? We had this other, like, backwards-assed sponsor that I don't, it's as bad as the Razor. I don't even understand. Like, they had a guy, and I don't know if he was a guy on tour or on some sort of, he was a music manager, but he was talking every so often. And when he was on stage with Jeff Keighley, they showed bands, and we had these 2 bands that had nothing to do with gaming. You know, they didn't make the Doom soundtrack like the first guys. There was like some guy called Black Beetle, and they were like, "Oh, here's Revenge by Black Beetle." Oh, okay. Who's what game soundtrack did Black Beetle do? Oh, no, none. They haven't done any. This is just a song by Black Beetle because I'm here to promote Black Beetle because I sponsored this event. Oh, okay then. Fair enough. So that was all the way through. It was 90% just sponsors wanking off, and then the other 10% was new games that are being shown, but they're not really that new, and then maybe 5% of awards if you're lucky, maybe. So the new games that got showed off, I'll just kind of run through them. We got to see a shot of The Last Guardian. Well, you know, it's coming out on the 6th, apparently. Hopefully, maybe, probably not. It's probably going to get delayed again, so no reason to show that. We had a little bit of a sneak peek at Mass Effect Andromeda. There wasn't too much on that, but it's got a lot of people really worried, because the one clip they showed of Mass Effect Andromeda, and even though this is a podcast, I'll try and find this one and put this specific one on screen. They showed a guy going down to a planet with a little gun that's got aliens on it, and they shot the little space gun at some leaves, and the leaves broke, and they collected lithium out of it. So it's a first-person survival game where you've got a magic gun where you can shoot the environment to get resources, and it's also an alien planet, and you hop from world to world doing this. Ooh, that sounds a lot like No Man's Sky! Mass Effect Andromeda, you're sounding a lot like No Man's Sky right there. So, yeah, that's got a lot of people worried. Now, of course, Mass Effect Andromeda is nowhere near done. I'm sure that when E3 2017 rolls around, we'll see a lot more of Andromeda. But from that little 5-second clip, they're making it look like No Man's Sky. It's got quite a few people very worried. What's next that they showed? Oh, yes. The big one, of course. Do we do that one? Let me just think if there's any other games they showed. They did show a lot of stuff, but let me think if there's any other major games that they show before we move on to the big one, which I'm going to spend like 6 minutes on because, oh my god. So we have Mass Effect Andromeda, Last Guardian. Oh yes, they showed off this, I don't know which company it was, but they showed off this basically bootleg Overwatch. It was a team-based hero shooter with a colourful cast of diverse characters, and it's like, you've never experienced a hero shooter like this. This is going to change your life. It's never been done. Amazing. And it's like, yeah, but you've never experienced a hero team-based shooter like this. I think we have with Overwatch. Have you learnt nothing from Battleborn? Like, Battleborn failed and you're doing the same. And even if you try and spin it as a free-to-play thing, we've already got Paladins for the free-to-play version of Overwatch. You don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, and then we got some Hearthstone, which I'm looking forward to. They had the Mean Streets DLC thing on the go, and I do play a little bit of Hearthstone and do a tavern brawl every so often. So I was interested to see the Mean Streets. They didn't show too much of it. I think it's already out at this point, and considering Hearthstone's free to play anyway, I could just go check out Mean Streets right now. I'll probably do it after this podcast. I'll play a bit of Overwatch because season 3's just started. But yeah, I wanna have a look at the Mean Streets of Hearthstone. That looks like a little bit of a fun DLC. But then we move on to the big one, because the biggest sponsor of the evening was Nintendo. And because it was Nintendo, we got to see the most Nintendo footage next to the Assassin's Creed movie. Please go see the Assassin's Creed movie. Ubisoft is begging you. We showed it off like 4 times. But yeah, so we got to see Nintendo show Breath of the Wild again. And we've got to hear people like Photon here talk about Breath of the Wild again. And Photon, who is my friend, I respect him, but Jesus, is he a Nintendo fanboy, like, to a ridiculous degree. Because he's done a video on the Game Awards, and I was watching it, and it's like, you are literally wanking Nintendo, and you're backing up what they said. I don't know it's to do with where I live, but it's so annoying that he is backing up what they said and he doesn't hear it himself. He's like, oh, Nintendo's good. No, they're being shit. And it's like, yeah, but here's the thing. And it's like, you've just backed up what they said. So throughout the Game Awards, they showed off more Breath of the Wild footage. They showed off 2 new races, or it could be the same race. It is some kind of avian race. We saw a giant mechanical bird-like airship. We saw a new area of the swamp. We saw a new lady. The face was covered. And we saw a couple of new mechanics like Link eating. We saw a lot of different clips of Breath of the Wild across the Game Awards. We had Reggie come out on stage and give it a bit of an announcement. We had a bit where Bill Trinan and his friend were actually physically playing in a tropical level. And throughout all of this, and all of them talking like, oh, look at this amazing feature, look at this amazing feature. Isn't it good? In Breath of the Wild, good. Oh, it's so amazing. You gotta play Breath of the Wild. And it's like, let me fucking play it then. And Breath of the Wild, I'm sorry if anybody thinks this is me like bitching, but it's not. Breath of the Wild is turning into No Man's Sky. It's been done for ages, and everything they're showing, you can tell it's done. It's finished. It's been finished for like a month. Why is it not on the Wii U? Just release it on the Wii U right now. And they're not releasing it on the Wii U because it had cut into the Switch sales. And that's the only reason why it's been delayed is because it would cut into the Switch sales. And it's like, you don't even know if people are going to buy a Switch. And the way you're hyping this up, by the time it comes out, nobody will want to buy a Switch because nobody will care. It's like, just let me play the game. And Photon's here in his little video being like, oh, it looks amazing. And Photon, me that lives in California. I live in California, you see. I got to play it at E3. And it's good. And you really should play it for yourself. Well, guess what, Photon? And to everybody else that went to E3. I live in England. They've never brought any kind of demo to England. So I can't play it for myself. I can't experience it for myself. I can't believe Nintendo's bullshit. I can't do all the shit about Breath of the Wild because it's never come to England. So, what's the fucking point of saying, oh, it's a great game, you should really play it for you? Yeah, well, I can't play it for myself. Why don't you just... And Nintendo isn't helping the situation. Because it's like, not everybody can go to E3 Nintendo. There are people in China, Russia, Poland, Australia, England, all over the world. There are people that live in these places. Everybody doesn't just live in America or Japan. There's more than those 2 countries in the world, but they haven't brung out a demo. anywhere else but America and Japan. And again, the demo was only at specific conventions like E3 and the Tokyo Game Show. Where the hell's a demo for everybody? Why not just put a demo on the Wii U? And before you get HMK's video with HMK being like, dude, it won't fit on the Wii U. It's too big. Fuck off, HMK. It's not too big. Xenoblade Chronicles X was absolutely fucking huge. Xenoblade Chronicles X had like a 7 gigabyte demo. It was ridiculous sized. And and that was on the Wii U. So you're telling me, oh, super big Xenoblade Chronicles X demo, that'll fit. But a tiny little sliced, like you could even if it's just the starting area, you're telling me that a Xenoblade X Chronicles demo will fit on the Wii U, but the tiny starting area of Breath of the Wild won't? No, the Nintendo's talking bullshit. You're pissing me off, Nintendo. Just release a demo already. Just let, you know, you have all these people that have gone to E3 like Photon saying you need to experience it for yourself. Let people experience it for themselves. Just release a bloody demo. So that's the thing. Nintendo was hyping up Breath of the Wild again, saying that, and even Nintendo said it. Nintendo was like, it's something you should really play for yourselves. Then let people play it for themselves. Don't just have it as the Game Awards. You know, you've got a booth at the Game Awards. No, not everybody's going to go to the Game Awards. We're not all fucking Matt, Pat and Buggy. You know, just let everyone play it. Because I'm not at the Game Awards. I can't spend 20 grand to fly to America and buy a hotel and buy a ticket to the Game Awards. Just release a demo, Nintendo. You keep saying you need to experience it for yourself, then let me fucking experience it for myself. So yeah, that's a thing. And then they showed off another trailer for Death Stranding, which was weird. I liked it. It looks cool, but it doesn't tell us what it is. You know, we have a fat man with a baby in a jar, and we have a Hannibal Lecter guy, and a tank full of slimy worms. That's helpful. That's as helpful as the first one. So it was a good trailer. I mean, I don't mind it, but it still doesn't show anything off about the game. So not really anything. But there you go, Hideo Kojima, you did good. But then we actually get into the awards. Yeah, we're 22 minutes in. That's how much shit there was. We're 22 minutes in, and we actually are only now just getting to the awards. Isn't that good? So we had a few awards, as I say, that were done off screen, where it was like, oh yeah, Niantic and Pokemon Go won Best Handheld, they get them out of here, and Overwatch won Best Multiplayer and Best Esports Game, get them out of here. You just don't need to know all about that. But then we actually got some awards that people read out. We had Inside getting Best World Building, like in the backgrounds. I think that deserves it. It did build a good world. We had Uncharted 4 taking the Best Actor and Best Narrative. Actor, maybe. I wouldn't say Best Narrative, but okay. Let me pull up my Twitter right now, actually. I'll read you all of the things that were on my Twitter, because obviously everybody was tweeting about it. And if I read everything that is on my Twitter, I can tell you everything that went down. Everything that went down. So give me 2 seconds here. Insane Spyro and Overwatch New Galaxy awaits. Okay, so we've got Game Direction was won by Blizzard. Yeah, I can agree with that. They showed off a new Halo game. Halo, we are still relevant, right? Right? Please? Because, you know, I don't think anybody really cares about Halo anymore. Uncharted, again, won Best Narrative, as I said. Make Bill die in 2 hits, then we get to play that guy. Oh, and then they had some Kart Racer. But yeah, so actually, you know what? I'm looking at all my tweets, and there's no goddamn awards. Yeah, I just realised that there's even less awards than I thought there was. So we've got like Doom. Really, I find that hard to believe. Because that was the Doom song. That was when they were playing Doom. Then, like, I also put later on, what is this shit music and what does it have to do with the Game Awards? Nice to see Boris Johnson still getting work in Death Stranding. So yeah, there was actually like no fucking awards. That's how bad this Game Awards was. So we had Best Action Game. Doom got Best Action Game. Impact, or the most impactful game. I want to come back to that one though, because that's what we're going to close off on. Because, oh my gosh, no, the best impact was very poorly handled, and I kind of disagree with how it was portrayed. Then we had Dauntless. Oh, that was the Overwatch bootleg. Then we had a Trending Gamers. So there was Angry Joe, Jacksepticeye, and Boogie won. I don't know if I agree with that. Like, Boogie, don't get me wrong, I like Boogie. Boogie's a cool guy. I enjoyed listening to his speech, very heartfelt. But Boogie kind of talks about what he wants. You know, he talks about movies. He talks about when he was fighting his suicidal thoughts. He talks about, you know, people calling him fat. He does do a lot of game stuff. But he's an all-around guy. I would think that someone that is more, you know, trending gamer, you know, someone that plays games, someone whose main channel is game-centric, would be Jacksepticeye or Angry Joe, so I don't know how they got that one. Then we had another shit song, which was someone shouted, oh no, that was it. We had another shit song, which led into a trailer for Titanfall 2, where they were playing another song over the Titanfall 2 trailer, which was Linkin Park. So everybody was just put crawling in my Mecca. I get paid to be excited, someone said that. Best performance, we've gone over, that was Uncharted. Best sports racer was Forza. Very busy working on the Game Razor. QTE's weapon durability, yeah, that was more shit. Announcer lady just used the sentence, the hype is real. So as you can see, there was no fucking awards. Best narrative, we just did that. Best game direction, Blizzard won. And considering what they're doing with World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Overwatch, I do think they've got the best game direction, even if Season 3 is very poorly balanced and optimised. Battlefield 1 equals epic. Keep telling yourself that, darling. Best action adventure game was Uncharted. Then I went for a bathroom break. And I was like, oh, more music. Great. There was no awards. There was just no awards. This is how bad it was. Of course, there was the Game of the Year, but now that I've actually looked through all my tweets and I've seen that there was nothing, let's wrap this up with the Game of the Year. But first, let's wrap this with the most influential game, which was done the most heavy-handed and piss-poor way, and that was the winner was Dragon Cancer. I mean, I know I make shit content, but you didn't have to be that mean to me. No, but all joking aside, Dragon Cancer, the most impactful game, or the thing that give the most impact, was presented by fucking MatPat. You know, hello internet, welcome to Game Theory. I'm your host MatPat. I'm a smug son of a bitch. And again, I've got nothing against MatPat. I like him, cool dude. But he just came out of nowhere. You know, you've got Jacksepticeye and Boogie and Angry Joe all sitting in the audience, all being like, oh yay, Game Awards, I'm up for an award. And you know, next to them all, you had like, I don't know if he was there, but I'm just using these examples, but you know, you had like PewDiePie and Doug Walker sitting next to Angry Joe, because it's like, yeah, we're best mates. We're all sitting here. Oh, I hope you win, Jack. Or if PewDiePie was sitting next to Jack, it'd be like, I hope you win, Jackster. Brofist, yeah. You're gonna win. You know, we had people like that. So it's like, okay, all the YouTubers are somewhere near the front, ready for whichever one of them gets the award. But then, out of fucking nowhere, Matt Pat and his girl, I am assuming it's his girlfriend, because I know she's always on GTA Live or Game Theory Live with him, reading the comments. But Matt Pat and his girlfriend just walked on stage, and it's like, hello, Game Awards! I'm Matt Pat, and we're gonna grin through our fucking teeth and do most impactful game. In the nominations of Dragon Cancer, Inside This, and this. And it's like, you are making this sound cringy. And then he's like, and the winner is Dragon Cancer. And if you're all unfamiliar, Dragon Cancer was based on a true story. The guy that made it, his son died of I can't remember if it was brain cancer, but it wasn't like a nice one. I mean, there's no nice cancer, but it wasn't like a nice one, like heart cancer, where your heart will just stop in your sleep and you quietly pass away. It was like one of the violent ones, hence Dragon Cancer. It's fiery, it burns, it's painful. Like, it was a bad cancer that the kid died of, and he was in pain for some time. Anyway, Dragon Cancer touched a lot of people with children that had cancer, and the dad come up and got the award, and it was an emotional speech. You know, this game has got an award, and now he's got to stand there in front of like 100,000 people, and obviously everyone that's watching this live on the internet, he's got to stand there in front of all these people and talk about how his son died of cancer. You know, that is something that I can't fathom. So he had his phone, like he couldn't even hold his phone, you could see him shaking, and he had his phone, and he was trying to read this speech that he prepared, and he did it normally for the first couple of sentences. Then he got to the part where he talks about like his son, and as he got to, like, even as he said like son, he just broke down into tears, and like he put his face in his hand. He couldn't do it, like he couldn't finish it, and in the end, like he wiped away his tears and just said the last paragraph, and he's like, I can't. And, you know, everybody kind of clapped at him for even just having the courage to go up there, even having the fucking balls to get on stage in front of all them people and talk about your dead son who died of cancer. It's like, that's fucking... You had some balls to make it that far, dude. And that was very impactful. You know, that hit a lot of people. So, you got the guy crying over here. You got the dad crying over here, like having a fucking mental breakdown because he's got to relive his son's death again. And then you've got fucking Matt Pat sitting over in the side, smiling like some sick fucko. And when he's like, oh, I can't do anymore, you know, because he physically can't, you've got Jeff Keighley and Matt Pat come back, and it's like, yeah! Oh, wasn't that emotional, people? So happy, really good. And it's like, you just showed that guy up. You know, he's just done this impactful fucking thing about having to relive his son's fucking death. And then, because he can't finish it, and you're too busy like, oh, we got to do more sponsors. You've not had a single silent moment. You didn't give that speech a chance to sink in, and you're just coming back like, oh, wasn't that a great speech, everybody? Good speech, everybody. Alright, now here's another fucking advert of the guy in the Silco razor suit. And you could tell, like, as the guy walked off stage, you know, as the dad walked off stage, you could tell he was fucking pissed. Like, I put my heart and soul into that speech. I mean, didn't finish it, but he's like, I put my heart and soul into that speech. I just had to I poured my heart and soul out on stage, crying about my son's fucking death. and you're just smiling and clapping, saying, "Oh, wasn't that great? Here's a fucking man in a razor suit." And his face was like so defeated. It's like, oh, I'm not fucking doing this shit anymore. I'm fucking going home. Like, I don't even think he went back into the audience. You know, like with Boogie or whatever, it's like, oh, Boogie's sitting in the audience when the camera's panning around the arena. Boogie's sitting in the audience, you can physically see him. He gets given an award, does a little speech, then he goes back and sits down because he's like, oh, I'm going to watch the rest of it. I got my trophy, but I'm going to watch the rest of it. That guy, he walked off to the left. Like, he didn't, like, walk forward down the stairs back into his seat. He walked to the left. Like, I don't know if the bathrooms are on the left and he just needed a moment to, go to the bathroom, get a piece of paper, wipe the tears out of his eyes. But the way he walked, it looked like he was walking for the door like, oh, I'm fucking done with this shit. I'm not staying. You fucked me off, I'm not staying. So, good job there, Game Awards. Very, very fucking ham-fisted with that. And I know a lot of people like Total Biscuit and myself were very outraged. I can't say I'm outraged, because outrage is a strong word, but being British and civil, me and Total Biscuit and quite a few others were very disgusted with the way he was treated. The fact that out of everybody you could have got, you had fucking Matt Pat announce it. And then after that speech, you just had fucking Matt Pat and Jeff Keighley being like, oh, wasn't that a good speech? Everybody clapped for him. Wasn't it a good speech? It's like, you fuck it, you stupid twat, Jeff Keighley. So yeah, that was disgusting the way they treated that guy. So that was the thing. And to wrap it up, we move on to the Game of the Year. So the Game of the Year went to Overwatch. There was a couple of others. I'm glad that Uncharted 4 didn't get it. It already won enough awards. Overwatch has had a good impact. It's got a lot of things wrong with it that still need fixing. But Blizzard genuinely, unlike Activision, do tend to listen to their staff and their fans. I'm getting the hiccups now because I need to end it. But yeah. So Blizzard genuinely tend to listen to their staff and the fans most times. I know Season 3 is the worst season out of the lot, and a lot of people are pissed at the fact that the 10 placement matches no longer mean shit. But I'm sure they'll listen to that feedback, as they did with the Summer Games loot that you couldn't buy. Unit lost, and I have, and the funny thing is, a lot of people were pissed off, like, oh, you're just bitching that you can't buy the Summer Games stuff. Oh, and this isn't trying to be arrogant, although I am going to be a little bit smug here. It's like, a lot of people on that video were commenting and leaving thumbs down. It had 50 thumbs down. It was pretty bad, saying, oh, you're just bitching that you can't buy the Summer Games stuff. You're just bitching about exclusivity. You're a fucking dick, Spyro. Oh, but after my bitching, look what happened at Halloween. Look what happened. I said, oh, the exclusives should be 3,000. So they're not 1,000 because they are special. They should be 3,000. And look what they were. 3,000. So it looks like I was right on that one, as was Stardoser and Unit Lost. So, yeah. Good on me. And again, I don't mean to sound too smug there, but I had to have that little bit of smugness. Because you had all of the Call of Duty little 12-year-olds being like, oh, you're just a whiner, you just change.org generation, you're a bitch complaining. It's like, no, this is a genuine criticism that a lot of Overwatch people had. And Jeff Kaplan listened. So, Season 3 is a little bit shit, but I'm sure Jeff, as much as I have to bitch at him sometimes to make sure he stays on the right path and doesn't pull an Activision, Jeff's a good guy and he does fix shit eventually. So even though Season 3's fucked, I'm sure he's gonna get the message and fix it. And I do think Overwatch did deserve to win the Game of the Year awards, because as I say, it's a fun game. It's a really fun game. I've put a lot of hours into it. I'm having fun with my friends, and despite it having problems, Blizzard does genuinely listen to its fans and its staff when there are major issues. So good on you, Blizzard. But for now, that was the Game of the Year awards, even though we should call it Advertisement of the Year awards, because half of this was just talking about advertisements. So yeah, those were my thoughts. It was pretty shit. Nobody really liked it. It was pretty shit. Most of it was just people whoring out and selling out, and most of it was just treating all of the winners like shit, like either not giving them a proper full award like the Pokemon Go guys. Like, they didn't get called out, as I say. It was just like, oh yeah, by the way, Pokemon Go won best handheld, here you go, now fuck off. So very mismanaged, very disgusting, the way they treated some of their nominees, where they just give them the statue and then told them to piss off. And of course, very heavily mismanaged with the guy, with the dragon cancer guy, where like he broke down on stage and they just kind of like clapped as if nothing was happening. And it looks like he did leave and didn't even stay around for the rest of the event. So overall, I'd say the Game of the Year awards were shit, just like they always were. And I'll see all of you next year for another long 40-minute bitch about them. So good go there, team. Roundups. Hope you enjoyed the bitching, and I'll see all of you next year when we get into the next year's set of bitching, when they fuck it all up again, because they've done it 3 years in a row, so why change now?